G'day to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. club. I've gone for a bushwalk today. It's Sunday late in the day, and I thought I'd just pump out another Jim's 5 a.m. club. There are mosquitoes everywhere, so I'll probably get home and have blotches all over me, but it's been worth it. I've come down here to my little bolt hole. I've got a pond, as you can see, this beautiful pond, and you can hear the running water. There's a little brook just down there, and that sound of the running water is just so peaceful. It's just wonderful. I can come down here, I can just close off my mind and think and just chat about things which have got near and dear to my heart. And what I'll do is I'll start heading back before it gets too dark. And today I want to have a chat to you about something which I've got near and dear to my heart. It's a book summary, another book summary which I've sourced online from a wonderful resource called Best Book Bits, something that you may want to have a look at yourself. It's a free website with hundreds of books across different disciplines, and have been read, digested and summarized for you in word form, and they're also available in audio, and it's free of charge, so you don't have to pay for it. And it's a wonderful way to build your capabilities and invest in your image and in your identity. So, if I can do it, then you're more than welcome to give it a go. I find it very, very powerful and very, very easy, especially in today's lifestyle where we're busy and we don't quite have the time anymore to read a whole book. But at the end of the day, if somebody can decipher it and pull out the key points, then for most of us, that's pretty good going. So the book that I want to talk to you about today is entitled A Whole New Mind. A Whole New Mind, and the author is Daniel Pink. And he talks about basically the two hemispheres of the brain and how the world is changing, and the focus on which side of the brain we use is also changing in terms of what's valued more today than what was valued in the past. Make sure these mosquitoes don't give me Ross River fever. I'm laid up for the rest of the month, or 6 months. So the author just basically sets a baseline and talks to us about the fact that there are two hemispheres in the brain, in the human brain, the left and the right, and both cooperate. So even though we've got two hemispheres, both cooperate with each other, both work independently of each other, but they cooperate. And one side, in most people, is more dominant than the other. So what I'll do is I'll take some time just to talk to you about what Daniel says about the two hemispheres and how they work together, how they fit in together, and then we'll go and grow from there. So he says, basically, in shorthand form, the left side is for detail. Left side is for detail, and the right side is big picture. So the best way to understand it is to think about an eagle. You know how eagles are able to fly nice and high, and they're soaring up near the clouds. They can soar nice and high to get the big picture. So they can have an eye on the big picture from their height, but their eye is also able to focus down on the detail and pick out a hare or a rabbit or something which is a long way away, and then just focusing on it, able to dive bomb and grab it and take it and feed their little ones. So like an eagle, we too need to be able to flick in and flick out of our left and right brains to be able to look at the detail, but at the same token to get above the clouds, above the woods, above the forest, and be able to look at the big picture. So he talks about language. For example, language is very left brain, and what he'll do is then he'll talks about the left and the right brain. So what did you say about the left brain? He says the left brain is sequential, it's functional, it's literal, it's textural, and it enjoys analytics. So it analyzes, it compares, it contrasts, it does all that detail, mathematical sort of stuff. It calibrates. And the right side is contextual. It looks at relativities. It allows us to put things into context. It's holistic. It looks at everything together and not just things in isolation. It's metaphorical. It's aesthetic. It enables us to be able to express and feel beauty and to compare things and say, well, that's more beautiful than that. So it invokes emotion, it evokes feelings, and it's also synthetic. So it enables us to create things through our imagination, which is important because the thing that separates us from the animal kingdom is that we're able to conceive, we're able to rationalize, we're able to see things through our mind's eyes and to imagine things. And those things all come into our inventory of skills through our left and right brain. And he makes a really good point here, that historically, over time, the schooling system, society, has always rewarded left brain people through the tests, through the subjects that we do at school, through the answers, giving us tests and expecting a particular answer as opposed to ideas and all these other things. So he says that the right side of the brain is more prized than design, story, empathy, symphony, and meaning. Which is sad. From what he's saying there is that one of the challenges that children face, or many adults face, is that because they're right-brained, because they're predominantly right-brained and brilliant and skilled with their right brain, it's not valued, or it hasn't been historically valued as much as the left brain. But here is the clincher. For all the young people out there, how do we use this? The clincher is that society now is moving from the information age to the conceptual age. Because what's happened is that you don't need to read lots of books. You don't need to retain facts. You don't need to be very educated in detail, because those details now are available to us all at our fingertips. We don't need to recall dates and circumstances, because at any point in time we can just hit our iPhone and have a look at Dr. Google and get answers to any question that we have. The brilliant future for young people and for all of us is that we're able to combine unrelated ideas into new creations. It's all about ideas. It's all about mixing and matching, plugging and playing, as opposed to joining the dots and measuring and doing stuff like that. Because man now is embarking on a search for meaning. And storytelling is a key skill. one of the things I enjoy about Jim's 5 a.m. club is that I get a chance to express my storytelling capabilities. Some of the greatest people in history have been storytellers. Herodotus, Homer, the ancient Greeks they were champions at telling stories. So I guess a call to action for each and every one of us, for our children, for our families, our friends, is to learn the art of storytelling, because storytelling is something that enables people to understand things better. It puts numbers into context, it gives perspective, and it's something that people can remember. Now, people don't hang on to statistics and numbers anymore. So storytelling is something that we can spend more time doing. And all of us, our lives are a combination, a compounding of many, many different stories. So if you're a good storyteller and you know how to put a positive spin on your story, then you can recreate your past, you can enhance your present, and you can create your future, because you can conceptualize it, you can see it, you can manifest it. So get into storytelling. It's a powerful thing. And you see it all the time in marketing. Marketing is all about storytelling. Now, let's start heading off. It's getting a bit dark. Marketing is all about storytelling. And the best advertising, the best marketing is all about creating a story, a compelling story that other people can relate to. So the key skill that the author talks about is the importance of being able to create a symphony. Just like a conductor, we've got ideas, we've got information everywhere. The Google, for example, stores in one day, more data, more information, more knowledge than thousands of years of books and history that was from back in the old days. There is so much information, data, material which is free of charge for everybody. I just mentioned before that there's a website called Best Book Bits, where you've got 300 or 400 books summarised, read, digested and summarised for you in word form and also audio form. All you have to do is just pick it up and read it, or pick it up and listen to it. It only takes about half an hour and you're done. You've learned something new. So they're saying that going into the future, the key skill, and it's probably always been the same skill. Like, I know that I've worked with some really brilliant people in the past, and they've been able to see the big picture, whereas everybody else is just, can't see the wood for the trees. Just like here, we're all caught up. The big picture thinkers or leaders are the ones who are hovering above and can see the way out. They can access Google Maps and see where the path leads and head us to that promised land. And the other big skill that we need to be able to use is to be able to combine ideas from unrelated areas. They talk about breakthroughs that have occurred in manufacturing and production. Velcro, for example, was conceived by seeing, I think it was sheep with burrs in its fur, how it was sticking the wool together. The burrs in the fur were causing the wool to stick together, and that was the basis for Velcro. So combining ideas from unrelated areas is something that's going to be big and spectacular over the next 100 years. The next point, an absolute cracker for all the young people out there. There's a study which shows that most self-made millionaires, listen to this one, most self-made millionaires are dyslexic. are dyslexic. They're bad at linear, they're bad at detail, but the fact that they were good at big picture stuff, at conceptualizing, at not getting caught up and in procrastination and not suffering analysis paralysis, have been able to go on to big and magnificent things. So how's that? Where a disadvantage becomes an advantage, especially in this new world. As we're saying, the ability to look at the big picture and combine ideas from different fields is going to be massive in terms of opportunity for young people and all of us. So I guess we'll finish off here, and the last point is probably the point that I just made before, is that don't get bogged down in detail, in analysis paralysis, but you need to be able to work with detail but also see the big picture in your life and in all areas of your life. And in order to see the big picture, you need to be able to set goals, plan, set an action plan, have dreams, so that you're seeing the big picture, so you develop the why. And once you've developed a clear and compelling why, then it's easy to know if you're on track or off track. The problem is that far too many people are drifting in life because they haven't put in the effort to see the big picture, to know what they want, and just to sit back and complain and to wait for other people to create their compelling future and to help them or create the dreams for them. So once again, the call to action is don't depend on anybody else other than yourself, and of course God's grace to help you achieve your calling. So give some thought to Matthew Syed's book, Daniel Pink's book. I'm getting mixed up with my book summaries. Daniel Pink's book. Let me just pull it out again. Become a storyteller and consider using your whole new mind. As Daniel Pink tells us, to use both sides of your brain to be able to focus on the detail, but also be able to see the big picture, and to use them in harmony and create a symphony of activity and a symphony of collaboration with your brain, both sides of your brain, as well as other people's. Because don't forget, one idea plus another idea creates thousands of other ideas. So let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, and most importantly, live, learn, and pass it on. But have a crack at life, and do whatever you need to do to be able to see the big picture, and also spend some time understanding the detail, because an action plan is the big picture broken down into detail. You need to be able to know the steps that you need to take in order to get to where you want to go. Thank you once again for joining me on Jim's 5 a.m. Club. I'll come to you again tomorrow, 5 a.m. from another location, hopefully, God willing, with another empowering message, and we'll see where it takes us. So yasas, sasagapao, and bye for now. Take care. Ciao.